As you know, we are discussing political culture and political development, and in the past sessions, we have talked about various aspects of political culture. For example, traditional political cultures, modern political cultures. So, we were at the end of the last session, we were saying that in some societies, the traditional political culture was helpful. It provided a ready foundation for democratic evolution.
Sir, we are at slide number
250.
250.
In some societies, the traditional political culture was helpful.
Sir,
The traditional political culture provided a ready foundation for democratic evolution. In other societies, the cultural tendencies led to authoritarian ways. The analysis of different political cultures is important. We hope it will give us a better understanding of public policies, the analysis of different political cultures gives us a better understanding of public policies. It will also help us understand necessary investments. These investments are made in various socializing agents. They aim to produce desired changes in a nation's politics. We must acknowledge that the term political development is new. It is relatively novel to the field of political science, political development. Many people might argue against the term of political development. They may say that politics is a universal phenomenon. So there is a criticism against the term of political
political development.
development. It is essentially unaffected by time or place. So the argument is the politics is essentially unaffected. It is all the
They
same
say
all over the
that
world.
is persistent.
Yes,
They say that is already existing.
yes, it is the critical argument against political development. They would argue it is not proper to categorize politics. In other words, there should be no talk on developed politics and underdeveloped politics or any other similar terms.
Sir,
It should not be categorized as more or less, more developed or less developed.
sir.
Economic systems and social structures are categorized this way. No, the authors of this, the editors of this book, Lucian Pai and Sidney Verba, they say economic. There are classifications
In economics,
in the
yes.
economic field. The developed economies and the less more developed economies and less developed economies.
Developing economies or underdeveloped and
Yes.
things like that.
So this classification is used. Another understandable objection involves, so if in economics, in economies, we can use these terms, these classifications, more developed economies and less developed economies, why can't we use it in politics? More developed political systems and less developed political systems. Another understandable objection involves value judgments. Value judgment. Judgments are of two types. Some are objective judgments based on scientific analysis. Some other judgments are based on our likes and dislikes, on our values. And you know, all of us have different values. Even we are four people here, all of us may have different values. We may like different dresses, we may dislike various dresses. Similarly, eating dishes, people, all the things. So these are value judgments. Another understandable objection involves value judgments. The term development seems to imply certain values. So develop any how different people understand political development or social development, it depends on how they understand
The
development.
values, yes.
What is the development to them?
Sir.
Okay, Furkan, yes, come on. We have started. Okay, Mohsen. This opens up a danger of confusion. There is a problem of possibility of confusion. Objective analysis could be confused with advocacy. There can be confusion between objective analysis and advocacy. In other words, there can be a confusion between uh, objective judgments, scientific judgments, and value judgments. It could be confused with idealistic personal preferences. The strength of modern political science comes from cultural relativism. Cultural relativism. Relativity means the things are relative. They are different.
Different at different places with different groups.
Yes.
These are different.
Exactly.
That
It is
is a relativism.
relativism. So it is the strength of modern political science. It comes from efforts to understand the realities of actual politics. It relies on stopping debates about the perfect state of government. However, despite these legitimate worries, a fact remains. Leaders in new states are intensely concerned about this issue. It is a fact. Leaders in new states are intensely concerned about this issue. They want to push forward the agenda of political development. They are worried about economic problems. They are also worried about political problems. There has been a broadening understanding of political development. This understanding has grown over recent years. Different people who use the term political development still give it different meanings. It is not a perfectly defined concept yet. Now, different views of political development. At the end, the authors they relate why political understanding political development is important to understand political culture, how they are closely linked. Different views of political development. One, the economic prerequisite. The economic prerequisite. For some, political development means creating the right political environment. Creating the right political environment is political development. Some people, some scholars say. This environment is essential for economic and industrial development. In other words, uh, economy develops when political system develops. Political development becomes the creation of specific conditions. These are political and governmental conditions. They are needed to achieve higher economic performance. So, political development is required in this perspective.
That is
Political development,
prerequisite for the economic development.
economic
Because
development,
the economy needs some environment.
political
in which
environment.
that
Yes,
yes, so political environment.
that is an enabling for
enabling for the economic development.
industry and trade and all that. It is a sporting role for the main goal of economic growth. Developing politics. Yes, it is a sporting role for the main goal of economic. So, main goal is economic growth, economic development. In this perspective, the political system must be stable enough for business to succeed. It must create the basic rules for economic life. This view sees politics as a tool for economic progress. The second perspective is governmental performance. This related concept puts the emphasis on the government's performance. Development involves an increase in administrative performance. So, in other words, if a political system is developed, the government's performance is good. If a political system is not well developed, the government performance is not good. So, governance is poor. It means a greater ability to carry out public policies effectively. Good governance. This concept was often liked by colonial administrations. They were interested in rational bureaucratic development above all else. The focus is on how well the machinery of government operates because the colonizers they were not concerned about the well-being of their colonies of the people. They were concerned about this, the delivery of the government so that they can exploit more and there is stability. It measures
Actually,
efficiency.
both these concepts are also interlinked. The
Yes.
administration and the politics.
Yes.
Because if the population elect, if the political system is developed
Yes.
properly,
Yes.
then population will be able to elect their true representative, which are capable of doing things, which are capable of governance, which are capable of doing administrative control.
Yes.
If political system is not developed, then there will be you can say lack of governance
Yes.
and lack of administration, and the non-political people will be governing the matters. And
Yes. Policy making will be weak. Implementation will be weak.
there will be gaps.
Yes. So it will not lead to economic development. So yes, they are linked. There is overlapping, but the focus is a bit different. Different approaches. All these approaches, they different on various dimensions of the same phenomenon. So, but they are interlinked. So it measures efficiency and effectiveness in public service delivery. A developed system can execute laws reliably and consistently. It shows a high capacity for institutional action. The third approach, modernization. This view follows the idea of social theorists. The degree of development is linked to the prevalence of modern behaviors. It measures how much modern behavior is replacing traditional behaviors. Political modernization, actually, they are talking about political modernization. Development happens when achievement matters more than inherited status. Very important. It's very important.
Yes.
Development happens when achievement matters more than inherited status.
The inherited status can't be an achievement. If it has reached the state of achievement with the passage of time, inherited status. If my predecessors like Qaeda has given us Pakistan, Qaeda has achieved, and I have inherited that status that I am Pakistani. So
No, in fact, they are not talking this broad about this broader concept of inheritance. They are talking about the family inheritance, which the children inherit from their parents. For example, if someone is born in a noble family, in nobility, so in some societies the child is superior by birth. Okay.
if they
So-
are talking about that inheritance,
Yes.
then it is
For
different.
example, in our societies, the children of peers,
Sir.
they are taken as superior
Sir.
since birth.
Sir.
Okay, so it is this inheritance. They are talking about this inheritance. So even if a child of a blacksmith, of a carpenter, has performed better in education and profession, even our people will give a higher status to the child of a peer. Even if he is
not performing in the education area.
yes, even if he is dull, even if he is a culprit, even if he becomes a criminal, even then he enjoys a better status. It is called an inherited status. So political modernization requires the other way. Political modernization, political development requires that you achieve your status by your performance, by your achievement. Okay, not by birth. And this is called achievement considerations replacing ascriptive standards. So that is ascribed by birth from family. That is ascribed. That is not achieved. That is not achieved. So it happens when functional specificity replaces functional diffuseness. Functional Specificity replaces functional diffuseness. It is the process of political modernization. Specific functions. Specific functions are replaced by diffused functions. For example, in a traditional village, for example, 20, 30 years back, there were families, they were supposed to be performing certain duties over the ages, over generations. For example, a barber family, their
Yeah.
children are supposed to be the barbers.
Sir.
Okay, if there is a carpenter's family, their children are supposed to be the carpenters. Okay, and if there is a Chaudhry's family,
They're supposed to be true.
yes, his children are supposed to be Chaudhrys of the village. So okay, so this is the functional specificity. People had specified the roles of different families, and their status was determined according to those functions. Okay, a Chaudhry has been superior, even still in many areas.
Sir.
Chaudhry is always superior. Whatever his achievements, his achievements are, or if there's no achievement at all, Chaudhry is a Chaudhry. Okay, it is called functional specificity. Functional diffuseness means when anyone can opt any function, anyone can achieve anything. Okay, a son of a carpenter or a barber or a blacksmith can become a doctor, can become a businessman, okay, can become a landowner. So when this happens in a society, it means it is modernizing, it is politically modernizing.
Socially or political?
In fact, there's so much overlapping in
Sociology and
social
politics.
reality and political reality. Politics involves everything which is collective. So all social issues are essentially political as well. So sometimes I wonder, every economic issue is also a political issue.
Sir.
Every education issue is also a political issue.
Because these are collective activities.
Yes, every religious issue is a political issue as well.
Unless it is an individual's.
Yes,
function.
yes. If an individual is performing the prayer alone at home or somewhere else, so it may not be political. But if some people are praying together at a certain place, it is a political activity. So politics means anything which is collective. When you, I might have told you that suppose in your neighborhood there's no playground or there's no primary school. So you talk to your neighbors and you call a meeting. 10, 20 people get together, and
in first session.
in the orientation I might have discussed. So when you start this process, politics has started because you have started discussing a collective issue. Having a ground in the neighborhood is a collective issue. So I know I understand that all social things, all social issues are essentially political issues. But when we say something social, our focus might be a bit different. When we say political, our focus may be a bit different. Just because, when we look at this dice, either we look at it from this side, or that side, or this side. It makes a difference how we understand it. So this is how we look at the collective reality, the social reality. So I think when we look at the social reality and we are trying to address it, or to have some solution or to improve it, maybe it is political, and maybe I may not be right, maybe different, but it is very clear, I am sure, that every collective thing, it is written in the books on politics, all collective issues are political. All collective issues.
So there is a need to draw an identification line between social issues and the political issues.
It's not
both
possible.
Both are collective issues.
Yes,
Because society becomes with the collectivism of people.
yes.
So
Yes.
political issues
So-
and the social issues, how they can be differentiated.
Yes, at the end of this discussion, we can check on internet the exact meanings of political and social. So then we can try to differentiate. But there is so much overlapping. Let us understand. There cannot be watertight boundaries. It is not possible.
Yes, it is not.
Yes, there are gray areas where they merge with each other. So it happens when functional specificity replaces functional diffuseness. Political modernization happens. This means roles become clearer and more specialized. It happens when universalistic norms take the place of particularistic norms. Universalistic norms, universal values, universal rights. Okay? If they are adopted by the majority, it means the society, the polity is modernizing. Particularistic norms, they are traditions mainly, and they are not based on political equality, and they are basically another dimension of the ascriptive status, particularistic norms. This means rules apply to everyone equally, not just to specific groups. Political equality, legal equality. This perspective focuses on the quality of social relations. In Southeast Asia, there is a particular Muslim country where Chinese and Indians collectively are in majority, and the locals are in minority.
That is,
And they have the upper hand. The minority, local minority, it has an upper hand, and they enjoy the most of the subsidies and privileges, perks and privileges. All the powerful seats are occupied, captured by them. And Chinese and Indians, they are much more advanced in economy and trade
which country is it?
Nepal?
in Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia.
Myanmar?
Can I turn my mic off for a second?
Yeah.
Anybody knows how to do it? Can I turn my mic off?
Mute? Is there any option of muting? No idea, sir.
I don't want it. It is recorded. Okay, reshape now. What it says. Fine. So I'll let you know at the end. I'll let you know the name of this country at the end
Right.
if you remind me. So we were discussing this perspective focuses on the quality of social relations, and 308. This means rules apply to everyone equally, not just to specific groups. So in Lebanon as well, there are different ethnicities, and their political status is not equal. But there is some sort of consociational democracy. They have made a good democratic deal. So all of them have a share in power. But as I understand, their status is not equal. Similarly, in many other Asian countries, including Muslim countries, the rulers and the ruled, they don't have equal status. The kings, they have an upper status. The ruled, the citizens, they are their subjects. They're subjects. They are not citizens. When the common people and the rulers, they have equal rights, equal political status, the common people become the citizens. If the common people do not enjoy the equal status, legal status with the rulers, they are subjects. So under British India, we were not citizens.
We are not still yet.
At least theoretically, at least constitutionally, we are citizens. But at that time, even constitutionally, theoretically, we were subjects. We were not citizens. So this means rules apply to everyone equally, not just to specific groups. So it is political modernization. And this perspective focuses on the quality of social relations. It measures the overall sophistication of the societal structure. The fourth perspective is system capacity or load. System capacity or load. This concept tests the general performance of the whole system. It tests the capacity of the government administration. It also tests the capacity of the polity as a whole. The key is the ability to meet heavy demands and hard challenges. Development is measured by the load that the system can bear. Development is measured by the load that the system can bear. This load refers to the scale and complexity of issues it faces. A society that is coherent and integrated is considered more developed. A society that is fragile and fragmented is considered less developed. So, when we have civil wars, when we have militancy, when we have terrorism, what does it mean? Are we developed or not?
Fragile.
Yes, we are not developed. We are not politically developed and we are not politically modernized. A developed system can handle internal conflicts without collapsing. It shows resilience in the face of pressure. So, when we collapsed in 1971, one of our parts it fell away. So, it simply means at, at least at that particular moment, until then, we had not politically developed. I'm not talking about what is the situation now. But yes, we have talked. Yes, already we have talked about militancy, terrorism, other things.
So what about Russia in 1991?
90. Yes, it was not. It was not
Developed?
developed. No, it was not developed. It was underdeveloped.
History since 1917.
Yes,
Since
yeah, it was not particularly developed. There was no trust among the citizens and no trust among between the rulers and the ruled, and there were no rights, no freedoms, political freedoms. So it was not particularly developed. That is why it collapsed. What is the writers saying? They have said uh, collapse. Yes, a developed system can handle internal conflicts without collapsing.
No.
But the Soviet Union could not handle its internal issues, it collapsed. It simply means it was not developed. It shows resilience in the face of pressure. If there's pressure, a political development has resilience, shows resilience. It will not collapse. The fifth approach towards understanding political development is nation building. Nation building, this view is similar to the last one. It directly connects political development to creating a viable nation state. This state must be able to perform well in the modern world. Developed nation state. Development becomes the work of building a nation. Political development becomes the work of building a nation. This is done in the current historical context. The main goal is survival and success among other nations. Furkan, can you explain what is the difference between state building and nation building?
Sir, nation building relates with the building of people to people contacts among the nation and among the people of the nation and to build their values, their what we can say, other thing which unite with each another.
Okay.
The state building relates with the development of the governmental institutions and other elements which are more focused on security issues and more focus on what we can say the tangible things which we can see like development of economy, like these things. But nation building is more with linked with the people-to-people contact and
Yes.
people-to-people
Yes.
values which
Yes.
make them united and
Yes.
make one.
Yes. Farooq, would you like to add something? Would you like to add something?
It is correct.
Okay, yes. So there's the point is there's a difference between state building and nation building. When we discuss state building, the focus is on the mega structures of state and state departments, state institutions, and power of the state, strength of the state. When we talk about nation building, it means we are we're talking about development of the citizens, development of the humans. It also relates to the human development and human security. So the main goal is survival and success among other nations.
By the way, the development of state structure is aimed at the development of nation. It has to be.
But both are linked, but the focus is different. Focus is different. For example, North Korea. Okay, the whole focus is on state building. They are building the state, the authority of the state, this power of the state. Okay, the state security. It is much better. But if you look at North Korea from the perspective of nation building, no, there's no nation building as such.
I am talking about the ideal situation where the objective, the prime objective of the state building is to build a nation.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be the prime objective of a state to build a nation.
But I think what practically happens is when the focus is on nation building and over the decades, the nation becomes really developed. Ultimately, this developed nation will develop a
State.
yes, a developed
Strong
state.
state.
State will build up, okay? But if the focus continues for decades and decades only on state building and the nation building is ignored,
Yes.
so it will become North Korea.
Exactly.
I think this is clear now. You are saying something?
So it's not the vice versa. If the nation is built, you are helping the country. Automatically, the nation is built.
No, automatically it does not. Because sometimes the state authorities, it does not suit them that the people become powerful and assertive. Just like in North Korea, I'm referring to it again. Because if people become powerful, the ruler, what is his name?
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un, like that, okay? So he is like a dictator, and the people don't have rights. He controls the whole society, and there are no political rights, and there are no other rights as well. So the people are forced to do whatever he wishes or likes. So the nation is not building up. Nation is not developing, but state exactly it is building up. It is becoming powerful under him, under his dictatorship.
He's referring to the same part which I have earlier discussed, that the prime objective of the state building or state development should be, it must be,
Yes,
nation building.
exactly.
That should be focus should be on that
Yes.
part. But you are right that if they have personal interests, vested interests, the rulers have vested interests, they will focus on the state, the development of state only. They
Yes.
will not focus on the building of nation.
Exactly.
सर इसमें हम ये भी कह सकते हैं like in the case of USSR, their focus was more mostly on state building.
Yes.
But when the crisis occurred, the
Yes.
system collapsed because nation was not built and developed, and they have no feeling that they are at that time they are Tajiks, Kazakhs, and also all the parts which are come out of countries come out of USSR.
Yes. Exactly. You're right.
Correct.
You're right. So the main goal of political development is survival. Nation building is survival and success among the other nations. There is no need to suggest an ultimate perfect goal. There is no need to suggest inevitable historical processes. The test is the reality of performance in a competitive world. How the state is performing at the global stage. This is the whole thing,
Test.
the whole test. This view emphasizes national identity and political unity. Number 6, national power. This view is closely related but still different. It simply connects development to the concept of national power. Development becomes the ability to get the most from a society's resources. It is about maximizing the inherent resource base of the country. This is done to project influence or strength. To project influence or strength. This view measures development by geopolitical effectiveness. The ability to control external events is a key metric. The ability to control external events. It focuses on the nation's overall strength and influence. The 7th approach, democratic development. This final position says development must properly mean democratic development. The greater the state of development, the greater the advance of liberty. It means greater progress in popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty, when people are considered sovereign, autonomous, individual autonomy, in fact. It has to do with the concept of self-rule. Anyone can explain the concept of self-rule? Self-rule. What is the concept of the theory of self-rule?
Self-rule, the person is convinced on the social norms or laws, and he feels himself to abide by those rules.
If you go into detail, yes, but the basic idea is no one has the right to rule anybody else. Only the person himself or herself has the right to rule herself or himself. This is the basic idea of self-rule. I can rule myself, only myself. Okay, no one else can rule me, and I can't rule anyone else. This is the basic concept of self-rule. But then there's a problem. If all people, all individuals are rulers of their own lives, there will be a chaos. There will be no peace. There will be no cooperation. So, in order to address this issue, there is a social contract. People make an agreement among themselves. They contract with each other, and they say, I will not harm your security. You will not harm my security. Okay, I will cooperate with you at the time of need. You will cooperate with me at the time of need, and this way a society is formed. This is called the social contract. So this way, all people lose nothing, but they acquire security and peace. So this is the social contract. So although they have contracted among themselves, still they are enjoying self-rule, because whatever the rules are made, rules of the game are decided, they have decided on their own,
Yes.
with their willingness, with their consent. So they are acting upon the laws which have been made by themselves. So they are ruling themselves. They are enjoying self-rule. So in that sense, democratic rule is self-rule, because democratic rule, in modern democracies we have representative democracy. In ancient times there was direct democracy. There were no representatives. The citizens themselves, they would get together at certain places and they would decide the rules and they would elect the government. In representative democracies, we citizens, because the state is much larger, and there are people in millions and millions, so it is not practical that people rule directly. So in order to overcome this problem, the representative scheme, the scheme of representation has been developed, So people from various constituencies, they send their representatives to the forum, to the assembly, where they make the rules and the laws for all of their constituents. And since we have elected those representatives, and they are deciding on our behalf, still we are enjoying the self-rule. Still we are enjoying the self-rule. And our representatives, they elect our governments, our prime minister, our president, our chief minister. We don't elect them. Our representatives, MPs, MLAs, they elect them. So this way it is representative democracy, but still the basic philosophy of self-rule is still functioning on its basis. So it means greater progress in popular sovereignty. It means it is the democratic approach, democratic development. So all people are sovereign. This is the philosophy of democracy. It means greater progress for free institutions. Free institutions. Consistent with this is the idea that other paths can exist. There can be other lines of development. These are based on other visions of the ideal political community. For example, there could be more or less developed communist systems. This view prioritizes political freedom and citizen rights. All these different views have helped create a common understanding. This understanding of the concept is now increasingly accepted. In this book, the authors of this chapter, Lucian Pai and Sidney Verba, they are editors of this book. So they are talking about their book that we do not follow one strict definition of political development. We incorporate many dimensions of political change. We also incorporate many dimensions of modernization. These are the dimensions students of new states usually mean. The authors in this volume reflect a shared belief. So various chapters have been contributed by different scholars in this book, political development, political culture, and political development. They believe a general phenomenon of political development exists. So books are of two types. Uh, Furkan,
Yes, sir.
books are of two types. Do you know what are
Yes,
the
sir.
two types of books?
One are written by writers, and one are some volumes are many writers shared chapters, and
Yes,
some are one of their editors
yes. The first type is called the authored books.
authored books.
First type of books is called the authored books. So it is authored completely by the same author or same authors. There can be one author, two authors, three authors, or even more authors. But the whole book is authored by them, written by them. Then there are edited books. The second type is edited books. So different parts are contributed by different scholars. So editors,
They should decide that.
one, two, or three editors, yes, they edit it and they publish it. But the chapters, they have different names of their authors. I have also contributed chapters to 4 books, edited books. 2 of them are published by the Routledge. One is published by Springer, and this year one book is published by Pelgrim Macmillan. I have contributed chapters to these books. I will share the chapters PDF on your WhatsApp group. So they believe a general phenomenon of political development exists. The authors, which have contributed in this book, they also believe political modernization is real. The key elements of this development are generic. First key element, the people. First key element is the people. This involves the population as a whole. It means a change from widespread subject status, a change from widespread subject status. As we were discussing that people living under monarchs and kings, they are subjects. People living in colonies, they are subjects because they don't have political equality with the rulers. So until they are subjects, the rulers and the ruled are not politically equal. It is not politically developed. The country, the state is not politically developed. So it means a change from widespread subject status. It moves toward an increasing number of contributing citizens. They become citizens. This change is fundamental to political development. This is accompanied by a spread of mass participation. So when the subjects become the citizens, now they start participating in the political process, in policy making. So more people are involved in the political process. It involves a greater awareness of the principles of equality. Citizens expect equal treatment under the law. So at least the law should be equal for all the citizens. It is a basic requirement for political development. Suppose there is a law that people belonging to Lahore and Gujranwala division, they have an upper status, and people belonging to Sargodha and Miawali, they have a lower status. Will it be political equality? No, it is not political equality. Political equality requires that the law says that people living in this country, wherever they live, whatever their religion is, whatever their cost, whatever their education, whatever their wealth, as citizens, they are equal. This is called political equality. Citizens expect equal treatment under the law. It means a wider acceptance of universalistic laws by everyone. The legal system applies fairly to all groups. Second key element is government capacity. This relates to the performance of the government and the system. It involves an increase in the capacity of the political system. The system must be able to manage public affairs effectively. It must control controversy well. It must cope with popular demands efficiently. The government becomes a stronger and more capable actor. Its ability to execute complex tasks increases if a state is politically developed. This capacity is essential for modern governance. Third key element is organization. This relates to the structure of the polity, how a state is structured, what are its major institutions, basic institutions. It implies greater structural differentiation. If there is a king and king makes the law, king implements the law, and king decides the disputes, will it be differentiated? Is it? No, it is not differentiated. Differentiation means different functions of the states are performed by different institutions, different organs, and there is a system of checks and balances. So so that there is less and less exploitation and misuse of authority. It implies greater structural differentiation. Different parts of the government take on specialized roles. WAPDA has a specialized role. The gas department, it has different role. Similarly, the police, it has different role. So different departments, different parts of the government, they have their specialized roles. It means functions become more specific and specialized. This makes the system more efficient and complex. System becomes complex. If system is very simple like it is in Afghanistan, it simply means it is not politically modernized. It is not politically developed. So all political systems which are developed and modernized, they are complex. They are also efficient. They deliver. They meet the challenges. It implies greater integration of all participating institutions. So there are different institutions, but they are well integrated. They are well integrated. It means all parts of the system work together better. There is better coordination between different branches and agencies. Different branches and agencies. Better coordination. No matter which part is emphasized, political development runs deep. Political development runs deep. It strikes at the roots of people's beliefs. So, political beliefs are also developed. It strikes at their sentiments about politics. Therefore, the process of development is deeply affected. It is profoundly affected by the character of the society's political culture. So, here is the link. Political development depends on political culture. So that is why we are trying to understand what political culture is, what are its components, how it develops, how it is formed, and how is it understood. It is profoundly affected by the character of the society's political culture. This is why analyzing political cultures is so valuable. It shows how different cultures react to pressure for change. We hope to gain greater understanding this way. The editors and authors of this book, they say we hope to gain greater understanding of political culture this way. We want to know the forces that support development. We want to know the forces that inhibit modernization. In fact, it is such a good book. I wish we study it completely in this course, but it is not possible. So I have shared it with its soft copy with you. So whenever you have time, even after this semester, you can read it. You can go through it. We want to know the forces that inhibit modernization. Conclusion. Man has diverse experiences in creating political life, and man has also diverse experiences in ordering political life, how political life is ordered. No country's path to modernization is identical to another's. All countries, all societies, they have their own experiences. They have their own way of changing politics or evolving politics or developing politics. Culture is always a powerful filter. This filter determines what progress looks like. And with this, I think we have come to the end of this chapter and this discussion. So let us conclude this here. So the few points I have missed during the transmission, let us 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes talk on them. These states which I didn't want to pinpoint to highlight in my recording. So